Hello, everyone, and welcome to September 25th regular Town Council meeting of the Town of Vegreville. I call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Before I start this meeting, I would just like to announce to everybody that as of noon today, the nominations for council and mayor ceased, and we have 9 people running for council, 4 incumbents and 4 new. I myself was acclaimed. Thank you very much for those who chose not to run against me. I'm sure there was a few that wanted to. But I would just like to recognize the services of 2 councillors that have chosen not to go ahead. And that's Councillor Warwawa, who is a 2-term councillor who has been a pleasure to serve with you, and we haven't argued that much, I don't think. And
Well, it depends on what we do.
Yeah, I get that. But again, I just want to thank you to the service and Councillor Bullock. Councillor Bullock has spent the last 4 years here. He's a 1-term councillor, but I really want to for you to understand that we do appreciate everything that you've done. So on behalf of the citizens of Vegreville, I want to thank you both for the differences you've made in our community. So, and to the other candidates, I wish everybody good luck, and I hope it can be a positive campaign moving forward, that everybody is thinking about the future of our community and what it looks like as we try to grow this community. So, that being said, I would look for a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Curtis, first guy up. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Next, I'll look for a motion. Councillor Barry makes the motion to adopt the minutes of our last regular council meeting. Yes. Is there any errors or omissions in those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. I'm going to start with some correspondence from the Vegreville Royal Purple Lodge 125.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is an invitation from the Vegreville Royal Purple Lodge 125. We are inviting your gracious presence on the occasion of the Vegreville Royal Purple Lodge number 125 to help celebrate their 75th anniversary. It's November 8th, 2025. The program starts at 2 p.m., lunch to follow, and it's at the Elks Hall here in Vegreville.
Okay, thank you. Take a motion to receive and file. Councillor Bullock makes the motion. Any comments? Hopefully we can get RSVP back to them right after the election if we could.
RSVP date is October 25th, so we will have time, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments? Well, 75 years, congratulations. Yeah. They've done a lot of work in our community. Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Next up, I'm pretty sure it's Jamison Brown, Manager Brown.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. This is in regards to the Vegreville Tourism Advisory Board and a member reappointment. And the proposal is to reappoint Jocelyn Moyos to the Vegreville Tourism Advisory Board. It's being proposed by our tourism coordinator, Michelle Gladys, and I am here in her stead. The background on the matter is that the Vegreville Tourism Advisory Board bylaw 03/2025 states that members must be appointed to the board by resolution of council. VTAB members have approved the extension of Jocelyn Moyos. According to section 4.4D of the bylaw, a current member may be extended beyond the terms outlined in the sections 4.3A and 4.4C if there is a current vacancy. Based on Jocelyn's commitment to growing tourism in the area, the board recommends that Town Council reappoint Jocelyn for an additional 2-year extension. With this appointment, the board is considered, according to the bylaw, to be full or to be at a full complement. Communication strategy. The appointment will follow a level 1 public engagement process. All appointees of the Vegreville Tourism Advisory Board will be notified directly via correspondence. And the recommendation from administration is that Town Council reappoint Jocelyn Moyos to a 2-year extension effective September 22nd, 2025 as a member at large.
Okay, thank you very much. Looking for a motion for the recommendation. Councillor Lemko makes the motion. Any comments? Go ahead, Councillor Lemko.
Yes, Your Worship, thank you. Jocelyn has served very graciously on the board, providing a huge insight into looking beyond the circle. She's got such a train of thought that looks outside the box versus inside the box. She brings a lot to the table, and I'd recommend that we approve this.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, well, I'd just like to say thank you to Jocelyn for putting her name for another 2-year extension. And again, it's a very important board, and we know how much tourism means to our community, so it's very good. So, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Well, well, looks like we're done with the agenda. Don't you just love these meetings just before the elections? Okay, so we're gonna go to council reports, and we're gonna start with Councilor Wawa.
Thank you. I've had a couple. On the 16th, I had the legislative meeting, followed by our CAO council meeting. Then on the 17th, I had my library board meeting, which I'm going to come back up to in tonight's council meeting. So the 17th meeting, we had a bit of a break over the summer. So there's just a few items I wanted to remind everybody of. On the 27th of September, they're going to do their second annual book sale. So the timing, it was a little bit hard over the summer. They were looking to have it during the summer and have pushed it back here a little bit. But I would say that even when they had to postpone, there was actually quite a few people reaching out wanting to know when it was going to be. So everybody mark that. It will be between 11 and 4 at the library on the 27th. Also, we did get an update. There had been some discussion, and thank you to our admin for just providing me an update. They were wondering, there was the planter boxes that were in the front, and they were in quite poor condition. They were unsure who they did belong to. The admin had been able to come back, give me the background, which we took back to them, and there was just a little bit of miscommunication on the library side with the past manager. They weren't sure. They thought they were looking after them, so it is the Pride committee that will be deciding what to do with them, whether to rebuild them or whatnot, and the town has just moved them to the back for right now, and the library's indicated that they're good to stay there until they figure that out, so that part got fixed up. They did have 2 new potential people sitting in on the meeting, so that was also encouraging because it's not easy to get volunteers out, so that was great to see. And then a little bit of programming updating. They were quite busy over the summer, and the biggest part I was just going to share is one of the focuses that was discussed in their strategic planning was partnering with other groups. So over the summer, they actually partnered with 9 different summer programs with a total of 281 participants in various little programs are run out of the library, like the Sizzling Summer. They did a couple of activities out of there, so that was really good. And they've got a couple of things coming up. One is council presentations here on the 30th, and one of their focuses for the year is going to continue to be working with Chris Lovely on the bit of the library revamp, so that is still something that they are looking at going ahead. So if there is any changes in the future or plans potentially for changes to the facility, it would be just really good for everybody to keep connected with each other, especially since they're looking at revamping space. So, and tonight's council, that's what I got.
Thank you very much. Next up, Councillor Bullock.
Thank you, Your Worship. Well, mine's short and sweet. I was away on holidays, actually, so tonight's council meeting.
So you were in your new RV?
Yes,
How'd that
in
go?
my wife's RV.
Oh, sorry. And how'd it go?
It went fantastic.
Nice. Excellent. Councillor Barry.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll be a little bit longer. September the 10th, had council met with the RCMP, the commanding officer for Alberta RCMP, Commissioner Daru, is that the way he's called, and some of his staff. We had a bit of a luncheon. I thought it was a very good conversation. I'll leave the rest of it to others here. 10th Corn Maze Committee, it's been going quite well. The corn's been very good. I don't know what the turnout was this past weekend, but I think it was quite a bit better than the first weekend. On September the 16th, our VARC meeting. And I have a few, just 2 or 3 highlights from it that I can share. So the Vegreville Attraction and Retention Committee, VARC, will soon be coming out and trying to get more information out to the public on the rebranding and where we're at and what we're doing. But we've determined that we're going to put in a request for funding from the town and county. And it's my understanding the county, I believe, actually uses a per capita funding basis. And they may have just recently done that for Vermilion with their VARC. So that request will probably be coming through in time for our budget period. Another situation is that looking at applying to hold the 2026 RPAP conference in Vegreville. So a committee has been, subcommittee, I'm not on it, but they've been getting all of the information and et cetera, and we feel that Vegreville could definitely sponsor it, and we'll hope and see if it does occur, but we will be submitting. And the other one, I don't understand it totally, but there is an implication to impacting Vegreville, and that's that the Alberta government is transitioning AISH, the Alberta Assured Income for Severely Handicapped. They're transitioning that as we speak to a new Alberta Disability Assistance Program. And what is it's a lower base income, but they're be capable for those who can to earn more. So everybody that's currently on AISH, and it's reported to be some 80,000 people in the province, would automatically be transitioned unless they apply to remain on AISH because they're incapable of truly working. And this is where the impact is going to come, particularly to rural areas, is that everybody who intends to apply to stay on AISH has to have a new medical assessment. And that is going to require our physicians quite a bit of additional workload over the next while, and they're already feeling some of the effects, and we're already a couple of doctors down. So, not that I'm talking about do I support or not support the program. The ramifications is our clinic could be busier just with trying to handle, and that would be in other rural communities too. I think the cities might be able to handle it better, but there is an impact when some of these things get changed around. I don't think that those who say, let's do this, see down the road as to the effects they can have in another area. I don't think they ever potential problem solve. They just do it. And so, more waiting lists, more waiting lines. I don't know. I thought I'd just throw that out. On the 16th as well, Ledge Committee, and then and a CAO council meeting. On the 17th, the St. Joseph Community Hospital Board, we had our meeting there. I won't go into too much of it because there was a little bit more length with the provincial, which is still in a turmoil because of the way they're changing things and et cetera. But in the near future, Covenant Health is going to be launching a community engagement program, I think October the 1st, provincially. We've requested that Vegreville will stage it a little bit later because we want to hold a hospital open house where people can come in and see what is happening, what takes place in the hospital. So their video is almost complete. They're just getting ready to launch it, but they'll probably launch it more closely to the open house. We may be able to get a previewing of it. The idea is that it'll be sort of like a drone flying through the hospital. and stopping at all of the stations and all of the different areas and et cetera, and explaining the ER, explaining the other areas, going upstairs, and giving an overall as to what is in the hospital and staff and et cetera. A second video will probably follow that to get in a little more detail. So some of the other things that are going on there at the hospital right now, they're fairly well staffed. The ER is very busy, still covering for other communities quite often, like Two Hills and et cetera. Acute care occupancy is at 100%. 11 of the 24 beds are what's called ALC, whereas patients that are waiting to be placed somewheres in a more seniors setting. And it's really difficult. They had 4 placements this last week, so that brought the number down a bit. But the way that it works right now, a person could be offered a location as much as 300 miles away. And the fight is to try and, is there some way we can keep them closer? And that comes into the aspect of we need more seniors accommodations. And I think the province has to start recognizing that. The other thing is that there's a new echo room that'll be opening soon. So that's the electrocardiograph testing. So they've got the equipment there now, the bed is there now, and they're training staff. So that'll be a whole new facility, a whole new area that will be available at the hospital. Cardiac rehab program is being so successful right now, they've got a 6 to 8 week waiting list. The rehab program. Non-emergent transportation is working extremely well. They're really happy with the service that they're getting there, and it is reducing the amount of EMS travel. So I think that is one that council has pushed on and worked with, and I think the new services are really working well. And the other one is for the staff. They have a staff wellness room where they've got donation of exercise equipment and et cetera. They have it almost ready to open. It's staff only, but it will help the staff morale, keep them healthy and fit, and et cetera. And the staff's really quite excited about doing that. So that's a little nutshell of what's happening at the hospital, and I'll stay out of the headaches of Covenant Health and provincial government. And then tonight's regular council meeting. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilor Rudick.
Thank you, Your Worship. September 10th, I did the taping of the Talk of the Town for the VTSS van unveiling and had another opportunity to be able to thank all of the donors and ensure that everybody is aware of the process for applying if they would like to get the vouchers for utilizing the van. It's for seniors and those that demonstrate financial needs. So you can just get that application form and use it for yourself or gift it to a loved one that needs some transportation support. September 10th, had a lunch meeting with the Deputy Commissioner Deroux and some of his colleagues from the RCMP. Great to be able to have him here. That's a big deal to be able to have him take so much time out of his day to come out to Vegreville, and a testimony to the willingness to be able to ensure that we've got some positive working relationships as well as some ability to be able to move forward with potentially some innovation and ensuring that Vegreville is well served. Really happy to see where we're at with our relationship with RCMP right now. That's taken some time to get there. September 12th, took the Rail Safety Week photo with a bunch of the youngest, cutest members of Vegreville, which was great. September 16th, had the MD of Minburn Foundation meeting and got to hear what's happening there. I'll let the chair of that board talk a little bit more about it, but suffice it to say there were some good conversations about where we're at in terms of funding and how important it is for all 3 orders of government to be able to be talking about the same thing at the same time. We've worked really hard as a board to put us in a position to be able to provide some of the necessary housing for seniors and also offer solution to the province to be able to offer the next level of service housing for seniors in a way that would be really important for those that live in our community and potentially get them out of a hospital setting where we know that acute care is not the best place for those seniors, and they would do much better. We've got some new people that have moved into the lodge and some people on the waiting list, and some renovations there as well. So there's always something happening, and really happy to have some of that feedback from the residents through a survey that was held throughout the summer and shared with us, but some of the recommendations that they made have been implemented into their menu planning, for example, to ensure that everybody's enjoying what they like. September 16th, Ledge meeting and CAO meeting. September 17th had the Community Association for Lasting Success meeting. I just want to draw attention to some of the programming changes. Of course, it's back to school, and they have a retrospective on some of the programs that were offered over the summer. They had a bit of a decreased enrollment as the fall starts, and some of that is likely due to some of the changes in the childcare funding that was announced by the province, which has kind of made it difficult for some families to determine which is the best place to put their children. So there has been a changing in the funding formula, which means some of the kids that would be potentially accessing preschool and or the Head Start program might opt for daycare rather, because it's the same amount of money for every family regardless of income. So it's made some of the families that they have to make some tough choices, but there are also some changes in that building as they've been offering 4-year-old preschool and 3-year-old preschool in a different format to be able to accommodate those families. So interesting to see some of those changes, but they've got great relationships with the occupational therapists, speech language pathologists, et cetera. So they have great programming and great supports and long-term support for those families that have really made a difference. So they get their funding through Alberta Education, and that ministry, just as a reminder, was changed to the Ministry of Education and Childcare mid-May. And so that actually is kind of helpful, in particular for some of the work that they do at Cal. So their summer programming, like Little Explorers, was again a popular addition, and they work well with preschool, and we're able to use a lot of the town facilities. And again, really important that we've got those relationships, as Councillor Warwa mentioned, the library, for example, but also the Family Resource Network and the pool, et cetera, are all really important parts of that. One other thing that you'll see is fundraising drive for the Breakfast Club. Again, this is a program that is offered to all children of all ages in the community, and most specifically, many people will be familiar with the snack program that's offered for elementary school aged children, but it's also offered at the high school. So those kids, it's available for all children to access breakfast. So if you're at the Composite High School, for example, you can access the breakfast for all students. So there will be a fundraising draw for that, or a fundraiser, so watch for that as we move forward in the next little while. I also want to draw attention to some of the news that's coming from Vegman Learning. They have a new programmer, executive director that we all got to meet, and she's been busy implementing some of the successful existing programs, but as well as some others. So, of course, the English Language Learner Program and the Learning Circle, those are really strong, popular programs. But I want to draw attention to the newcomers workshops. They did a few workshops to help newcomers access healthcare in the community, just to help them navigate. But some of the other programs that they're offering in the next little while is Pathways to Growth in Careers and Learning Opportunities, Money Matters, Mortgages and Car Loans Made Simple, as well as talking about your wellness and options in the community. So that would be some of the general questions. And the first one, I'll just draw attention to that, is actually on the 24th, is immigration updates for both business and the general public. And so they've talked to the chamber as well to ensure that everybody's fully aware about what it means to be coming in as a new worker, or what that looks like for an employer. So drawing attention to that for anybody that might be interested. As well, you can always walk in to access services. First aid and CPR are always highly popular with people, and the CAKE, which is formerly the GED, Community Capacity Building Programming that they offer there.
I also wanted to thank Councillor Bullock and Councillor Warwa. It has been a pleasure having your passion and your energy on this table. I've really enjoyed having the opportunity to work with you and also the opportunity to laugh with you too. So thank you both for your passion and your commitment to the community, and I know that won't stop when you leave this table, and I look forward to continuing to do that laughing and that commiserating about all of those important issues. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Curtis.
Thank you. For me, on September 12th, the railway safety photo as well. I was down there for that. September 16th, we had the ledge meeting and the council CAO meeting. On September 18th, I was here in council chambers with a whole bunch of people for the Crisis Response Plan Roundtable. So we got together with people from St. Joseph's Hospital, the Kalena PCN, Alberta Supports, Vegreville RCMP, Child Services, CAO Ling was also in attendance, Recovery Alberta, MLA Jackie Armstrong-Hominick was here for a bit as well too. And it was to get the ball rolling. We've heard a lot about, in crisis situations, where do people turn, where do they go? I won't say we got a full-on answer out of it, but we sure brought up a lot of information. And I think what we learned was that no group is doing it wrong. We just have to probably do a little bit better together of how we do it. So the facilitator is now going to take all the information back from all the different groups, spit out a report, and hopefully give us some direction on where we need to go next, whether it's local changes to how we do things or getting to know each other better, or where do we go next, or if it's some advocacy potentially on our part where we can advocate to the province to make things better, or resources missing, or there's a broken cog in the machine. So more to come from that, but it was very well done. Everybody's very cordial to each other. There was no finger pointing, or there was no your group should or shouldn't do that. It was very well done. So yeah, it was a great thing to be a part of. Then up next tonight, I have my FCSS board meeting. So today, where are we at here? Some big discussion around the long-term plan for the FRN, the youth programming, and the sizzling summer. We know they're in the Galleria malls, but there's always the chance of potential eviction, as they had in their last spot too. So there's a lot of discussion around where they can go next, or what they think they should do, as well as potentially talking to other nonprofits that are also scattered around, and maybe having a larger community building where it's a one-stop shop for volunteering, nonprofits, et cetera, which has been brought up before, but I think there's maybe a bigger drive to do it again. So that was on the table. That kind of encompassed the community hub idea. We also talked about our new updated bylaw, which there wasn't too much changed in the FCSS bylaw other than some wording, and then the allowing of keeping some of the volunteers for longer terms. Everybody was happy with that. I have one more. There it is. FCSS is doing a lot. There's a few things to scroll through here. They finished, so National Volunteer Week, where we did our thank you to all the volunteers. They've got the numbers out. There was 180 people that attended the kind of barbecue and social event at the library. So that was awesome to see. I like getting the numbers out so people know like how many people showed up and what it means to people that are recognized for all the stuff that they do. And our new counselor program, so Bryn Weinkoff is signed on to do in-town counseling. And there was some numbers here. I believe it was 16. They have 16 people that have signed up, which is awesome. So the word's getting out. As well, I think they've done 39 different appointments, and she offers over the phone, online, in person, after hours, depending as well. So it's a great program, and she's on for the next little while at least. So that is good. Meals on Wheels, August, 417 deliveries. So we're averaging 75 meals a week. So that's up. June was 372, and July was 348. And sometimes we're likely to see that go up in the winter as well. And the last one I want to bring up is the volunteer tax return program. They did 440 tax returns this year. And yeah, 88% of the respondents or the members, they would have to go without a basic need if they were going to have to pay to get their taxes done. And that was one of the things that came out of some of the questioning and the mini survey that they did. So that and tonight's council meeting. That's everything I have.
Hey, thank you very much. Councillor Lemka.
Thank you, Your Worship. First of all, Councillors Bullock and Warawa, thank you. Thank you for the times we've shared in this and other locations in the community doing the things that council does. As you can see, sitting around the table here, it's not only sitting in this room that council does activities. We're out there on committees bringing the voice of those committees back to this table and keeping that liaison between those committees. We're spread out along that, as well as the many other events that council attends. It's a busy job. I thank the people who have put their name forward. I look forward to an upcoming election. And let's just say, let's play fair and let's have a good election as we campaign on the doorsteps of the community. September 10th, I attended the meeting with the RCMP leadership group. It was nice to see that they would bring that high of a level of the leadership team to Vegreville to sit down around the table and discuss strategies and where they plan to move forward the RCMP. It's nice to have that relationship. It's a very positive meeting, and I got a lot of information from that. September 15th, I attended the Tourism Advisory Board meeting. And a little update on that. It was a very interesting meeting. Our table's full. We need a bigger place to host our meeting. And we've been looking for a student for a number of years to have somebody young. And we did secure a student. Her name is Odilia Rhea Verapua. Verapu? Something like that. It's I butchered her name, but she's a grade 12 student at the comp. She's a very busy girl. She volunteers at the food bank, the Rotary Interact Club, nursing homes, and long-term care in the community. She's planning to work towards being an orthodontist and then dentistry school and specializing in ortho. So good for her that she joined the board and she brings an insight into from the youth perspective. Items of note, the wayfinding signs should be here around October 10th, 14 signs, and it's the first phase of the wayfinding project, focusing on Highway 16A quadrant first. And then, so we'll see some new signs coming up in the community, which is what we've been working for as a council for a long time, and thanks to Jameson for his leadership in getting that to fruition here. Canada Day, color run, 212 runners, which was probably the highest number that we've had. Bingo, bouncy castle, mini golf, lots of activities there. Entertainment included the Indigenous drum group, cover band Rockzilla, and evening with fireworks. What went good? Cultural elements like henna tattoos and Indigenous entertainment. Positive feedback from people on those. And we had a problem with the delay of the sound system not working, so something that was just a glitch in the system. But overall, it was a great event to be part of. Beautiful weather. The Guinness World Record, overall, it went smoothly. Very well. It was nice to see the people that were out there. Beautiful day to hold it. Unfortunate, we didn't have enough participants to break the record. But through the aggressive marketing for the event, it really brought a lot of attention to Vegreville, which is what we want as a tourism advisory board. And maybe those people will come back with their own egg. The Fall Community Information Night, 46 tables. And there was over 300 people in attendance. So good to the community groups that came to put up a table. Some Vic stats, and I know the chair of the board, Councillor Curtis, usually is the stats man, but I'll do this on his behalf. Over 1,400 nights camping at our facility. We had a lot of walk-ins, 26,000. Roaming was over 64,000. And we counseled 18,000 people. Ice cream sales, $45,000 in ice cream sales. That's a lot of scooping. Concession sells, souvenir sales, $23,000 in souvenir sales. Remarkable work that coordinator and Jameson's team is doing and getting that to happen, and the people that work there promoting the Vic. We had an application go out, and I'm not sure who that was. I think Michelle Gladys, our coordinator for the community tree grant, and we were successful. And the Parks Department is planning to plant the trees at the campground the beginning of October, which is great to see. Very Vegreville Christmas, Friday, November 28th. And some touch-ups on some reports from some people. Go East of Edmonton, Kevin Kiselevich, travel guide went very well. They were pretty much all gone by early August, the guides. They were everywhere, and they brought a lot of people to this area in Vegreville. The Axe Society, busy. All the events, the Medieval Festival is growing, and they're once again booked for next year. The fair struggled with the poor attendance due to the tons of rain. They're down about a third, at least, from what was going on. So, Psycho markets are well attended. There's another week to go on the corn maze. Cowboy Challenge was here this past weekend. It's the Axe Society brings a lot of people to Vegreville, and a great team to have on our tourism board. Chamber, there'll be the All Candidates Forum on October 14th at the Social Center. For those people who are interested, make sure you come out and listen to the candidates who you'll be voting for. The November 8th is the Christmas Arts and Crafts Sale at the Social Center. December 12th, the Chamber Christmas Party. The Harvest Ball for St. Martin's Foundation is October 18th with a comedian in attendance. Rob Pepper, I don't know about him at all. I might have to go and listen. Followed by a barn dance. And that was it from the Tourism Advisory Board. September 16th, I attended the MD of Minburn Foundation board meeting. Just a regular board meeting of the foundation. It's interesting, though, that we do also look after Innisfree, the villas, and Manville housing there. And those units typically have been fairly empty. They're now almost close to full. Where people are coming from, we don't know, but we manage that for the government. And our lodge, we have 10 vacancies, although a number of those rooms are unrentable. So the lodge is doing well. People are happy in there for the most part. We did get $150,000 CMHC seed funding for our expansion as we move forward with that. We're on a pause right now. We're at 50% in architectural drawings, engineered drawings, and we're waiting for the next round of intake. So lobby to your local MLA and your government officials, as we're ready to put a building up if we can just get the funding. 16th, I attended the Ledge meeting along with my fellow councilors. And your worship, tonight's council meeting, and congratulations on being acclaimed for this position.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you all for what you guys do every day out there representing the community and all our boards. So on the September the 9th, CAO Ling and myself went to the legislative building in Edmonton, and we met with new Minister of Municipal Affairs, Mitch Williams. And we had a very nice meeting about some of the issues that we see that we've had lately and what the future looks like. And we are now going to be taking some lessons, 101 I call it, on a few different topics. And some of the legislation on some other things have changed, but moving forward with the plan for this community, we just need to be able to work with municipal affairs, and Minister Williams was very open, and so was his staff, and we collected the names, and they're more than willing to help us with some of the issues that we're seeing, so look forward to that. On the 10th, I too attended the lunch with Deputy Commissioner Daru, and the staff, some we have met before that have been here previously a few times with some of the ongoing issues that we've seen at the time. And now there's a new Deputy Commissioner for K Division, and we just wanted to reiterate, where we're at and some of the positive outcomes that we've seen from our dialogues leading up till now. And we look forward to working very closely with them moving forward. So it worked out very well, and we had a nice Ukrainian meal, and they were very grateful for it. And I want to thank those of you that attended that day, and these relationships are something that you need to work on all the time, and are the position that we're in for the positive outcomes that we're seeing and stuff. So on the 12th, I too attended the Rail Safety Week photo down at the caboose, and it was nice to see all those little participants walking over from the daycare, and it was sort of like herding cats there for a while because they all wanted to win the caboose, but those that could did, and it was nice to see some little people in our community that knew exactly who I was. Then we had the legislative meeting. And what happened on the 18th? There was something else that happened on the 18th. Councillor Curtis, what happened on the 18th in your report?
The crisis response roundtable.
Oh, that day, yes, I was part of I was here doing a shoot with a local, not a local, but a film company that's shooting with young farts, and they set up a scenario regarding some zoning issues and stuff, and our local entrepreneurs and how they reacted to the news that they received from planning and development, and it was a little bit exaggerated, but I think it'll be funny when it all comes out. So look forward to seeing that. On the 16th, we had our Ledge meeting and a CAO council meeting afterwards. And on the 19th, I traveled to Smoky Lake in the morning for Alberta Hub meeting. And there's a lot going on with Alberta Hub right now. So we are just applying for our funding for RETAs, which will be half of what we seen last year. Right now, with the amount of municipalities we have within our RETA, Alberta Hub, and we're hitting all the good points, but the funding will run out on April 2027. So we talked about a lot of important issues. We talked about what morphing Alberta Hub into with NAGO, Northeastern Alberta Alliance for Growth and Opportunity, which started out as the Mayors and Reeve in Northeastern Alberta. And because the funding, per capita funding for Alberta Hub information will be going from 50 cents per capita to $1. And with NAGO, each municipality is participating, and we're trying to look at the synergies of the two when we're not receiving any funding anymore from provincial government, we should be lobbying. So we looked at what were the biggest holdbacks that we see in economic development for the Northeast or in the hub region. And those are the things that we're going to concentrate on with the provincial government. The Skyways project is, Arium is a local drone company, and Alberta Hub have been doing a lot of research with drones. And we were supposed to have a flight from Vegreville to Vermilion beyond the visual line of sight. That didn't come off, but they've been planning. They've now set up corridors all through the Northeast where drones will be able to fly. And coming up shortly out of Andrew, there will be a night flight of a drone that's going to go to St. Paul. And they're really looking for information for municipalities in the Northeast that have airports and are willing to participate in some trials. They are actually running spraying operations with bigger drones, and this beyond the visual line of sight is big, and the new routes that they've mapped out for in the Northeast, Alberta, so they're staying away from every farm, every site, as they have a corridor at least 500 meters away. They're not flying over top or directly over top of anybody's place. This whole drone industry is about to just go crazy, and I think there's going to be some positive spin-offs that we can look at for our own airport here in the future. And we also had another presentation from a very large Indigenous group that's looking to move Alberta and BC, Saskatchewan and Manitoba forward with a lot of projects that are nation-building projects that are focused in the West. And a lot of their focus ends up, no matter if it's rail or if it's new highways, ends up in Churchill. And we got to talk to one of the gentlemen who put together the biggest deals in Indigenous equity in major projects in this country. And it was very, very exciting, and I can see they're willing to help Vegreville. They just started talking to Treaty 6 in Alberta, and they've identified which First Nations are more progressive than others and willing to work and get in on some of these projects. And it was unbelievable what they have planned. And they also were very upfront that there's some First Nations that don't want anything to do with this. They just would like to, and they're staying away and respecting what their rights are too. So it was a very good meeting. And then tonight's council meeting. So that's what I've been working on. So is there any other business of council? Pretty sure I didn't miss anything again. Perfect. So we do have a closed session item. So I'll be looking for a motion to take us into closed session. Councilor Rudick makes the motion at 7:48. All those in favor? Carried.